welcome to another episode of the Studio 78 podcast. I am your host, Nache from NacheSnow.com. Welcome. We are on episode 90. Can you believe it? So you can find the show notes, of course, at NacheSnow.com/90. I just can't believe I'm almost on 100 episodes. So this season 4 is winding down. I have one more episode, but episode 100 should, I think, take place sometime in the fall, which means I need to do something special. I have no clue what I'm going to do, but one of my good friends has already given me some ideas. But if you have some ideas, please send them my way. Okay, so before we get into this episode with Brita from Zenspire Designs, I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about how you can support the podcast. So I have a new storefront, and it's called thelifecleanse.co. So it's the storefront to my main website. And over there, I have t-shirts, I've got mugs, I've got the Life Cleanse journal, and I'm also pre-selling my course, How to Organize Your Life to Make Time for Your Passion. So go over there. Please support the podcast. I really appreciate it. You know, I'm all about giving you guys whatever you need in order to do the thing that you want to do. And I'm really big into productivity and making sure that people find the time to do the thing that they should be doing. And so that kind of leads us into this week's guest, because one of the things that I'm thinking about adding over to the storefront are stickers, because I love stickers. I use stickers in my bullet journal. I print them out on my printer on sticker paper. I buy stickers off of Etsy. I buy stickers from stationery stores. Like, I love decorative stickers, and then I love functional stickers too. But I really wanted to do majority functional stickers, like stickers to help you with content planning, help you with expenses, help you organize your journal, like days of the week type stickers. And so I don't know, but I just wasn't sure how much money was in it or interest. So for you on my newsletter, you know, I did a printable where you could print some of my hand lettering on sticker paper and then cut it out and put it in your journal. And so I got like a lot of clicks off of that, because you can kind of track what people click, and they liked it. And I did an Instagram story where I asked people like, hey, do you want the printable or do you want to just buy the sticker? And everybody's like, I just want to buy the doggone sticker. Nobody's trying to, I guess, cut anything, right? And so I'm like, okay, people are like me where they love a good sticker too. And so I'm like, maybe I should do it. And so, well, before I go on, if you happen to be interested in the free printable that I already have out there, you could just go to NacheSnow.com/BUJO goals. And that's NacheSnow.com/Bujo goals. So that link, of course, will also be in the show notes. But yeah, so I just was like, but is there money in stickers? Will I lose more money just making them? And, you know, I was really, I've seen like several articles on like, how people have these sticker businesses, but I always wonder, like, can you really make a living on selling stickers? And so that's where this week's guest comes in. I met her at Craftcation, and she told me like kind of her story. And I was just so amazed. I was like, wow, you sell stickers? That's amazing. And this is like what you do. I mean, she sells prints too, but the majority of her sales are stickers. And I was just like, wow, she has made a business of selling stickers full time. And she has been doing her business, a little bit of stickers and a little bit of prints, for the last 5 years. So this isn't kind of like, ooh, a fly by night. Like, no, she is figuring it out as she goes, and has made a business of selling stickers and other things. And so I've got to pick her brain on this podcast. And after picking her brain, I think I'm going to make some stickers. So stay tuned for that. Definitely continue to check the website and just sign up for the newsletter if you want to get the announcement on when they'll be available. But I'm pretty sure you're going to see some stickers coming soon because she's got me excited and jazzed. But anyway, just know in this episode, she's going to tell us like her fascinating story about how she got started, why she decided to leave school and pursue this full time. She'll tell us also about how she's used social media in order to continue to market her business. And she's been very successful at this. She's got 97,000 Instagram followers. She talks to us about Pinterest tips because she said at one point she realized after looking at her stats, like a quarter of her business was, at least a quarter of her traffic going to Etsy was coming from Pinterest. So she realized she needed to put a little bit more love into Pinterest. So she talks to us about that. She talks to us about why she chose to stay on Etsy and why she loves that platform. And then we also talk about things like shipping, pricing, and preparing for festivals. So it's just a really fascinating conversation. And it also is very inspirational because I think sometimes people believe that you can only sell these really big ticket items in order to make a living. And actually you could sell smaller items in volume and also make a pretty good living. And if you have the processes in place, then you could do it successfully. And I believe Brita is a really good example of this. So be prepared to be inspired. All right, folks? So let's get into this episode. Here's Brita from Zenspire Designs. Hello, Brita, and welcome to the podcast.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Yes, I'm so glad that I got to meet you at Craftcation. I've had so many Craftcation people on the podcast. Like I totally just switched this season of the podcast to now majority of Craftcation people.
Oh my gosh. Yes. There's so many amazing people at Craftcation. It's it was the best weekend or whole week, I guess, ever.
Yeah, it was so good. It was so good.
It's very motivating too, which is awesome.
It was. I mean, I felt like it was one of those things where you leave and you have a billion ideas and you're like, okay, just focus on the one. Right? Just focus on the one.
That will actually succeed.
Exactly. Yeah. But I saw your designs and I was like, oh my goodness, this is cool. And I'm a sticker person too. And so I was like, okay, I need to have her on the podcast because I'm even thinking about because I make my own bullet journal stickers that I print off on my printer. And so I was like, maybe I should sell those stickers, but I'm like, I don't know. And then when I met you, I'm like, but no, she sells stickers. It's not that crazy for me to think I could sell stickers.
My entire business is pretty much stickers. It used to just be prints, but then I got into stickers and everyone was like, oh my God, can you make this into a sticker? And I was like, yeah, sure. And now I have over 500 different stickers. And I'm addicted to making them.
It's kind of crazy. And it's so funny because I had one friend and she was like, you make your own stickers. Aren't stickers for kids? And I'm like, no. We as adults love stickers too.
Even whenever I'm at my shows at first, I was like, oh, I think only kids are going to buy it. But then I had older people buy them and just they were like, oh, this reminds me when I was little. And every age will buy stickers. It's just, you have to tell them maybe it's to give them ideas what to do with them, but overall, there's not one person that's I don't really know what to do with it. It's so many possibilities with stickers.
I love it. Well, before we get into Zenspire Designs, can you just tell us a little bit about you before you started your company?
Yeah. I grew up, I'm still here, in Pittsburgh, PA, and I've pretty much been here my entire life, but I pretty much grew up with creating and whatnot because my mom went to the Art Institute for fashion design. So it kind of was like in my blood to be creative. And then my dad is more of a like techie kind of guy. So I'm kind of like the techie creative person altogether, which is kind of a nice mish. But I pretty much just doodled throughout my years of high school. Well, pretty much elementary or every single year of school. And I would get in trouble and whatnot because teachers don't like you doodling on papers and whatnot. And I would, get detention, and my parents would just be like, well, like, you're not failing any classes, so just do whatever you want to do.
Those are good parents.
So I got a sketchbook instead of my school papers. So then I put it all in sketchbooks, and then I put all these doodles in one. And then the last week of high school, there was like an HGTV guy that came in and like redid a room, and he asked me to do a mural, and it was like the first mural I ever did. And then like that's whenever I was like, oh my gosh, I love doing this on like larger scale, or just like working with other people instead of just doodling. So I graduated high school, then I went to just a smaller school in Erie, PA called Edinburgh University for graphic design. But I stayed there for about a year, and I was like, I don't really want to do this. And then I came back, and I was like, I'm going to do all my gen eds at community college just to save, the money, because why not?
Right, yeah.
During that time, that was 2014, Starbucks sent out like a contest entry, and they were like, get like a white cup contest. Get a white cup and then draw on it and then enter it as the white cup contest. And then I entered a few times, and then after a couple of weeks, they emailed me back and they said that I had won. And that's like pretty much the entire reason why I have this, because I won this contest. And like it jump-started like every single thing, because Starbucks is such a large company, and they are like the nicest people ever to work with and like communicate with. And I still to this day communicate with them. And they after me winning, they kind of just blew up my name with it, and they were like, oh, this girl, she designed this, blah blah blah. And then the cup that I designed was in every single Starbucks. Like, you could just walk in, and it was there with my name on it and all that. And
how cool.
It was like the craziest. I still look at the cup and I'm like, did I do this? Like, is this really happening? But yeah, it was really cool. And that's pretty much like their word of mouth through social media. And that's what blew up my Instagram. And then people were like, where can I find your work? And I was like, I'm just going to community college right now. I was like, I don't know. And so one day I was in class, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I was like, I want to create stuff, and the ball is rolling, so I might as well just keep it rolling. And I dropped out that day, like 5 years ago. And it was super, I had to convince my parents that I was like, just let me do it. Let me just see if this is a thing. And that was 5 years ago, and I have not yet gone back. And now I'm artist, and I work for myself, and I have a studio and everything. So yes, if it wasn't for my contest, I would not be where I am today.
But I love that, because there's so much I want to unpack there. Because first of all, it's taking the action to enter the contest, right? You don't know if anything will happen, but I feel like by putting yourself out there, right?
Yeah. And like, I wasn't, I was like, whatever. It's like, 6,000 different people are going to enter this contest. I will never be picked. I was like, I'll just do this for fun. And then like I won. Boom. And I was like, what? So.
But I feel like those are the best contests, when you're just like, I might win it or not. And so there's not like all this pressure to like, oh my God, I have to win it. It's just like, okay, if I win, I win. And
I don't, it's not the end of the world. And I'll just keep doing what I'm doing.
Exactly.
So yeah, it was a very nice surprise for sure.
So you win this contest, and then like you walk into Starbucks and you're like, that's my cup, and like your name is on there. So how long after do you feel like did it take you to say like, okay, let me set up like an Instagram account or something so people can find me?
Yeah, so I already had some work on my Instagram, but I had like 300 followers and it like wasn't really, it was like my personal one, but then I just kept adding artwork to it. And then the day, I think it was June 11th, 2014, that's whenever they were going to announce it online. And so I was like, I should have like an Etsy or something like before all these millions of people come to my like Instagram. And so the night before that, that's whenever I made it an Etsy shop. So I was like, let me just put some stuff on there just to, make myself look like I'm trying to be a business. Because at that moment, I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. So
yeah, what were like your first few products? Were they stickers or were they something else, like posters or something?
Just prints. Yeah, they were just prints of my originals because I was like one of that artist. I was like, I want to keep all my originals, so I'll just make prints of everything. So yeah. The first sale that I ever had was like this paisley mandala pattern. And it was to the woman that like told me that I won. So she was my first customer, which was kind of cool.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, pretty much very, very shortly after, that's whenever just my whole entire like Etsy just got so much traffic and good traffic. So
yeah. And so just walking people through it because, sometimes you hear like something like this will happen and then a few sales will trickle in and it takes like maybe half a year or so to kind of build up the business. Did you find like when they announced you online, you got a flood of traffic and a flood of sales, or were there just like enough sales for you to be like, okay, if I really push this, it could be more?
Yes. So I mainly, I got like a few sales and I was like, okay, like maybe this could be a thing. And then the main like reason why I was like, okay, this is actually a thing is whenever I first applied for the Three Rivers Arts Festival, the one that I'm prepping for. It was 4 or 5 years ago. And I was like, I will never get into this. I was like, I have no, experience with shows or art festivals or anything. It's super hard to get into this. And I applied and then I got in. And then it was like a 2-day, I had the 2-day slot. And I made like $4,000 in 2 days. And I was like,
whoa.
What? I was like, oh my God, this is a thing. I'm going to totally do this. And I mean, meanwhile, that's like the biggest show of like all of my shows. So at that moment, like, I started from the top and then I went to smaller shows, much it didn't make as much. And I was like, oh, but I still made like enough that I was like, okay, this is like a thing. People want what I make, surprisingly.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was like the day that I was like, okay, this is a thing. I'm going to like put full focus into this. I need to make sure me dropping out of college wasn't a regret or a mistake. I need to prove to myself and my entire family that I'm not like, I had to make sure it was all for the right reasons, for sure.
But I feel like sometimes in the beginning, that's all you really need is like that proof of concept and those initial sales, right? So just the fact that you could do like 4,000 in sales in a festival that you weren't even thinking about like doing, right? So that means you're like scrambling, don't even know what to really sell, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. All I did was print and like, people loved it. And I was like, what? Because like I got all those, compliments through like online and social media, but it's very different whenever you actually get to talk to the person and like face to face. And then they tell you like how much they like your work or, what's great and whatnot. And it's like a whole different experience. Like, I think that's what really made me, I was like, okay, cool. It's not just like an online thing. I can actually talk to people about it. So,
and then how did that first show go? I mean, did you run out of stuff that first day and then have to like print stuff that night? Like, since that was like your first show and it was like a major show, how did you even navigate that?
Luckily, one of my friends, his mom has been in that show before. So I just emailed her. I was like, oh my God, what do I do? What size prints do I need? How many do I need? She's like, you need more smaller ones because people like to buy smaller things and like collectibles and whatnot. And so I just got so many prints. I spent so much money on inventory, and I was like, I don't know if this is going to work or, but luckily, I mean, there were certain ones that I did sell out of, but luckily I had enough that people could pick around since it was only 2 days. Cause now the show that I do, it's the same show, but I now have 5 days, and I usually sell out by like the 4th day. So I'm like triple, like getting everything in stock for this year. So
wow.
Pretty much.
So even with that first show, you didn't do the printing yourself. You went ahead and paid a printer to do it for you.
Yeah, there's a local printer in Pittsburgh. So I can like, if I were like, hey, I need something printed like in the next 2 hours, and they would be able to do that. So it's a lot easier than trying to find prints online and whatnot. So anytime anyone asks me like, oh, where do you get your prints done? I was like, I get it locally in Pittsburgh, but I suggest to always do it local just because because you're kind of trusting the people with your like raw files and like, you know, what you're going to do online or, sell them, so I like to work with local people too.
So, that's what I was going to say too. Right. You're supporting other local businesses, which is nice. So you're kind of like on fire, right? This first year, you like win this contest that you're like, let me just doodle on this cup,
right? Yeah,
and then you're like, all right.
I was like, there's nothing gonna come from this. Like, whatever. I'll stay at my retail job, go to community college, hope for the best. Don't know what I want in my life, but. After this contest, I was like, okay, I guess I have to figure out what I want to do with this and if I can make this into anything. And after I had like a bunch of like newspaper interviews and like talk show interviews over the phone and whatnot. It was like a whole thing. I was like, oh my God, I don't know how to handle this. I was like, I'm 21. I don't know what I'm doing.
But hey, you were riding the wave. I mean, it sounds like, you just went with it.
Yeah. I was very naive. I didn't know, what to say for certain things, but I've just been winging it for like the last 5 years, trying to run my own business and taxes and all that stuff.
But hey, but I think that says a lot. It's like you're still here after 5 years.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Pretty much after the 3rd year, because my dad always said that you'll start really profiting as like the 3rd year comes around, just because the first couple years you're like, everything I make goes back into the business and, you have to spend money to make money type of thing. And that's like so true in starting up a business. Like people are so scared about that. Like, that they're spending all this money, but I was like, it's worth it. I promise. Like, just spend the money and then make your inventory and then you'll get it all back and double it and all that stuff. But it was quite nerve-wracking for sure.
Yeah, but I just love what you've done with it though. So after that, so what did that first year look like? Like, how did you go from prints to stickers? Was it a couple of years afterwards? But yeah, just kind of like walk us through how your business evolved.
Yeah, the first year was just prints, and then I would do like custom commission drawings for people like around the world. There was like a bunch in Italy that wanted me to draw. Like random, like, because people will just contact me through social media, which is amazing just because I can connect with so many people around the world.
Right. You're like, where are you from? Yeah.
Exactly.
Is this legit?
Yeah, right. So, yeah, I just did prints for, I think, 2 years. And then I started thinking, I was like, I want to make smaller products for the people who don't want to spend a lot or just add, to their cart or whatnot. So I was like, I always loved stickers when I was little, and I was like, I'm gonna just try it out, make my own stickers. So I bought one of those Cricut machines to try to make my own stickers and whatnot. But the inventory that I wanted to make, I wasn't making them as fast because I get the Cricut machine. It's a wonderful thing, but not if you have to make like mass products. Like mass production of something. Yeah. So, and I have like over 500 different designs, so I can't really spend all that time to do that. So I Googled all this stuff, and then I found a printer in Sweden, and they print waterproof stickers. And I was like, okay, cool. Let me try a few designs. And I did 6 designs. And I posted them on my Instagram and on my Etsy, and like they were like such a hit. And I was like, what is happening? And then people were like, can you make this into a sticker? Can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? I was like, sure. Like I would never say no. I was like,
right.
And then I got like super into it. And then at shows, that was like the majority of what people were buying.
Interesting.
So I was like, hey, so this is a thing. And then I just pretty much full focused on, I still do make prints if people ask for prints, but I mainly just do stickers because they're so fun to make. Like I'll draw them, but then like it's so much better whenever they come in the mail and it's like a physical sticker and they're just like small and cute. And I just like, I geek over my own stuff. Like I don't even know what that, like, it probably sounds bad, but like, I'm just like, oh, it's just a surprise whenever it's like Christmas. There's like 3 boxes of stickers on my porch and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so excited.
Right. I mean, but that's good, right? Because it's like whatever you do, you want it to make you happy and you want to like see your products and be like, ooh, I can't wait to mail this off. Right.
Yes, exactly. I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm so excited for the show this week and this year, just because I have so many new stickers that I'm just like excited to show people at the show. And like, people will come back every year just to find me. And then I always make sure I have like double the amount of inventory and also designs. So say they bought something last year, then they'll find something new this year. So yeah, I'm just like obsessed with making stickers. It's a problem. I'm running out of room, but I'm never running out of ideas. I'm just running out of room. So
hey, that's a good thing. And then what made you decide to do, because I mean, okay, there's like, I feel like a billion different like choices on the type of stickers, like clear stickers and then stickers with white backgrounds. And then if you go to Japan, they have like the washi tape stickers.
Yeah,
I mean,
awesome.
Right.
There's so many possibilities with stickers and like the material that they use. But I think the main, like, the most kind of popular type of sticker is it's called vinyl waterproof. Well, maybe not waterproof, but it's vinyl sticker. But usually all vinyl stickers are waterproof. So I just wanted to make sure that, like that was the one that I first tried out. I was like, yeah, let me see. And then I really liked it, and it had a white background. It was clean. And like, because my details are so intricate, I was worried that they would like be pixelated or like mished and just didn't look good. But when they came in, they looked like so crisp and bright and vibrant. And I pretty much just like fell in love with that material. So I just pretty much stuck with the waterproof. And then I know whenever I tell people that they're waterproof, they're like, oh, what? I can do this and do this and do this. I'm like, yeah, go for it. Put it anywhere you want. It is all good.
Because they can put it on like water bottles and anything, right?
Yeah, cars. A lot of people put on their cars or laptops. Well, hopefully your laptop doesn't get wet, but the sticker will,
right?
But your laptop won't.
It'll be durable.
But that's my selling point. But pretty much like anywhere, and like I've had people turn my stickers into magnets themselves, and just like all sorts of different things. And it's fun to like whenever they come back, they're like, oh, I have it on my phone. It's still here. And or you know, they're small, so even if you want to gift it to someone, they're not expensive to ship. So people are like very keen over that because they're just like, ooh, I can like do this in the birthday card, and it's not really that much, but it's somewhat thoughtful.
Well, it's so insane because like looking at your site, like, I mean, it's like, I mean, do you have like one thing that's like print custom and others, but everything else is stickers, Zodiac stickers, beach stickers, holiday stickers, location stickers. I mean, stickers.
Yeah, there's a lot.
So
because the print custom and other is all in one because Etsy only allows me to have 20 different things. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to shove everything else into one and then put all the stickers organized. Right. Because that's what mainly people buy.
Yeah. I mean, so it's like, so was it like year 3? And was it like so clear that people love the stickers that you just made for the most part a shift? I mean, still selling prints, right?
Yeah.
But
yeah, I still bring prints to all my shows just to give that different product or that they would want. But yeah, mainly stickers. Like as soon as it just like hopped off, And I was like, okay, this is a thing. I'm going to just run with it. Maybe I'll do stickers for 2 years and then find something else to do. But it's been like 3.5, 4 years since I've started my stickers, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. Because luckily, like the last year or a year and a half, stickers got super, super popular, like super like trendy and all that. And I was like, okay, so I started this, and then now it's like a thing. So it's still a thing. And so I probably will never stop making stickers, even if they go like out of style. But I don't think they ever will, just because stickers are such like a little, like, it's not like a large, product that you can only use once, or, it's just like a little thing. And I don't think it'll ever, maybe mine will go out of style, but I don't think stickers will ever will.
No, I don't think so either. They will be like, forever. They were popular when like 20 years ago to age myself, exactly. And they're still popular now. And so I guess it's like the volume too, because I think sometimes when people are thinking about selling products, they might be like, well, I'll sell the, the prints because, prints you can, sell for a higher price point. Yes. But I guess stickers, they are a lower price point, but you probably can get more bang for your buck, and then you're selling more, right?
Yeah. Luckily, like my prints will go like $20, $15, or $10, the 3 different sizes. But then my stickers are $3. But luckily, people at the shows, they'll buy like 10 stickers at one time because they can't figure out like 3 that they want. So they'll just buy a bunch and it'll add up. But they do get more bang for their buck, and I do as well, because I'll buy hundreds and thousands at a time, and then they aren't expensive to get made, so which is nice. Very nice.
And then I'm curious too, like, so of course, like that first year, riding a wave of like winning the contest, but then after like a couple of years of business, and then kind of migrating to more of like a sticker business, what did you do to like continue to market yourself? Were people just still finding you, or did you find like you had to post on social more or do advertisement? But like, how did you like keep your customers coming?
Yeah, so I pretty much, I don't know the correct word for it, but so you know how people vlog on, YouTube. I started to vlog on my Instagram stories. And so then people are super engaged of what I'm doing every day. Whenever I design a new sticker, then I say like, oh, it's going to be printed. And like, they get to follow like behind the scenes of my entire business. And I like pretty much like share like my everyday of like how to run a business, or how to be your own boss, and all the complications, all the rewards and all that. But I pretty much just stay consistent on my social medias, and luckily I learned how to use Pinterest correctly from Craftcation. And like ever since then, my Pinterest is just like blowing up since I learned how to correctly use it, because apparently I was doing it wrong.
I know. What was the magic bullet? Was it like a simple change that you made?
Yeah, like it's all about hashtags and whatnot. So also like, I guess if you're a business Pinterest, you have to switch it to business, which I didn't know was a thing.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But the main thing she talked about was, so say, like, because I sell stickers, I would put in the search stickers, and then I guess the first couple of, like, words at the top is what mainly comes up whenever people search stickers. So then those would be your hashtags, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Kind of. But so like say someone was making purses and selling those, then you would search purses, and then whatever the top 3 words that would come up, those would be your hashtags. So that means your product or your pin, I guess, would go into every single one of those categories. So it kind of just like before, I never used hashtags on Pinterest at all. I was just posting it just for fun. And like, I was like, yeah, this is whatever. It's just another social media I'll put my work on. But then as soon as I started like hashtagging it correctly and organizing all my pins and boards, and I had no idea what I was doing. Like ever since that, it was like, oh, okay, this is, because people were like, yeah, Pinterest is like very helpful. And I was like, I did not know that until now. And now I realize that like 50% of, or like 25% of my sales come from Pinterest. And I never knew that until I looked it up on my Etsy, like stats or whatever. So I was like, I'm doing something wrong. So now I was like, I'm doing it wrong, but people are still finding me on Pinterest. So I was like, I should probably figure this out on how to work with that. But yeah, so pretty much I was just staying consistent on all social medias, just so my work is like everywhere.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And like Facebook and whatnot. So.
And I am a huge Pinterest fan just personally, but I do have a business account. And it's so weird because I always tell people it's like Pinterest is a search engine. It feels like it's just like social media, but it's kind of like Google where people go there, they search it like they search YouTube, right? YouTube, Google, Pinterest. And I was like using hashtags too, and it felt like pointless. But then I did hear somebody say like, it's a search engine. So you're helping it, even though it doesn't seem like it's helping, it is helping.
Yes. Yeah. Pinterest is like, the lady said that Pinterest wants you to go somewhere else and then come back to it. Like Instagram, it's like they want you to stay on the app, or Facebook's kind of like you can go to other websites, but mainly Pinterest is like, hey, come to me, find the stuff you want, go to that place, and then come back to me and find other stuff.
Right.
Exactly. It's like a crafter's Google, or I was like anytime I'm like thinking of anything, I'm like, ooh, what does Pinterest have? Because it's just all photos and it's just so much nicer to look at instead of like trying to Google and just look all up these websites and whatnot. So Pinterest is wonderful.
Yeah. And then I wanted to ask you too, what made you decide to stay on Etsy versus, I think you do have like a separate website too, but you mainly sell on Etsy, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I started on Etsy just because I knew what Etsy was, and I knew that it was like an easier, quicker way to make a website instead of actually coding and whatnot, because I had no idea how to do any of that. So I was like, I'll just make an Etsy and all that, and then go from there. And since I'm still on Etsy, I also have another website just because my dad is into coding and app developing. So he decided to like make a website so no one can take that website, I guess. Like I pay for the domain and everything like that, even though like I'm kind of using it, kind of not. But I mainly just use my Etsy because, one, I know the ins and outs of it by now. And like, I know, it's so much easier to work with. I don't have to code anything. I can customize anything super easily, very quickly. But with an actual website that my dad coded, every time I needed something like fixed, I had to ask him to do it. And it was just like very inconvenient. And like Etsy honestly doesn't take that much out of it, like out of your, profiting or whatever. And like, it's only like 20 cents to post anything. And it's not as much, they don't take as much as like people think that they would. Etsy is like a huge thing. And it's like people go to Etsy to find certain things, and it's just like, it's like another Pinterest kind of, like people just go there and they're like, all right, they know what they're looking for. And I just really like Etsy. It's never done me any harm.
And then also I just, as we wrap up here, I just wanted to ask you about shipping, right? Because I think sometimes that scares people. They're like, okay, how many, because I'm like, because of course you have like this successful sticker business. So it's like, ooh, that's kind of a lot of stickers to mail out, right? So how do you deal with that? Like, what's your system?
Well, luckily, I have trained my mother and my aunt to do orders, which is like so helpful. But before that, I would be crazy and I would handwrite every single address for some reason. I don't know why, but like that's whenever I was getting a lot of orders, but I wasn't getting like as much that it was like a waste of my time to write everything. But then I got a label maker, and that was a lifesaver because with Etsy, you can just like copy and paste the address and then put it right into your label maker, and it comes right out. And it's lovely. But luckily, my stickers are so lightweight that all I have to do is just put a stamp on it, and then it's good to go in like a 4x6 envelope. So, and I get those bulk from Amazon, and then I buy a lot of stamps at one time. But as for the scary part, which it still scares me, so I give the options online that if you want to track your package, just because tracking is $3 for that small envelope, I don't want to say it's $3 for everyone, because some people might like be scared off if it was $3 shipping. I don't know. If paying for a $3 sticker and paying $3 for shipping, it's like, but I like to give the options like, hey, if you are like scared that it might not come, then, just let me know and I'll send you where you can buy the tracking. But all the other ones, it's just $1 for shipping, and it usually takes like 4 to 5 days to get there. And if it doesn't get there by 5 days, the people will email me and then I will mail it again. And that's like the kind of the sucky part about it, because I can't track it. But then luckily my stuff isn't super, super, super expensive. Like I'm not losing, a lot of money when I do that, but I am losing, inventory that they didn't pay for. But like to, make sure the customer's happy and they get what they paid for and, all of that. But that's only happened a few times. And then international is like a whole different thing.
Oof.
It's like, it takes like 3 to 4 weeks to get there. And luckily the stickers are only like $2 a ship just because they're so thin. But if they want tracking, it's like $20 and it's insane. And and pretty much even the tracking, if you were to buy tracking, it only tracks until like the end of the United States. And then as soon as it gets into the other country,
it's like, good luck.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like,
they better appreciate that sticker when they get it.
I ordered something like 4 weeks ago and I was like, let me talk to my post office people. Like I'm there all the time. Like I became friends with the post office people. They're great. And I'm like, why didn't this go? Like, where is it? And they're like, oh, it's stuck in Chicago at customs. And I'm like, is there a reason why? They go, no, and you can't ask them why. They can hold it if they want. If they want to send it, they can. I was like, how does that make any sense at all?
That's crazy. And you're like, it's a sticker.
Like, oh my God, it's not going to hurt anybody. It's just a sticker. Like, you can open it and like smell it or, make sure it's not anything like, that's not allowed in the country. It's just a sticker.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, shipping is scary and it's a hit or miss sometimes, but luckily people who order from me mainly all follow like on my Instagram and they understand like that I'm not sending it to them, because like I'll show on my Instagram story that like I'm doing orders, mailing them out and whatnot. So no one ever thinks that I like just didn't send them their order. They're they're very understanding. People are a lot more understanding than I thought they would be in customer service. There's always one or two, and I'm like, it's okay, I'll refund you, it's fine.
Right.
Twice out of the 5 years, so we're fine.
That's pretty good. And then I know somebody's going to ask, so I'll ask you, do you know the name of the label maker you use?
Yes, it's called Brother, and it's the QL810W.
Perfect.
Okay. Brother, yeah. And then for the shipping label, the actual like shipping label. So the Brother label is more just like a label maker where you would put like, random words for your organization and whatnot. But the other printer, my like actual shipping label printer, it's called the Dymo Label Printer 4XL. And that's whenever like you actually print out a shipping label and then the post office scans it and all that. So that's also lovely, because before I used to have to go to the post office and then do the self-service and get it all myself. But now I have to do it. Now I can do it in my studio, which is so much nicer, because I would be at the post office at like 2:00 in the morning, like trying to ship like 100 different things. And I'm just like, there's things that I used to do. And I'm like, why did I ever do any of that? I was like,
but you had to learn, right? I mean, that's the thing about it. It's like, you gotta learn. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause I don't know anybody personally. Cause like all of my friends have like, school jobs or accounting jobs, and they all graduate from college. And I was just like, there's no one in my life that I can relate to. And like, if I tell them my problems, they're like, I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, oh my God.
This is where Craftcation comes in, right? Where you can be like,
so many people understand my struggles. And I was like, oh my God. Because the people at home don't understand at all of little like knacky things. And I'm just like, I need help, but like none of you live in Pittsburgh.
Right. You're like,
I had to just figure it all myself and wing it. So, yeah. But it's all working out. I loved learning lessons, so
no, that's
from my mistakes as well.
That's awesome. And then it's interesting. One other question I have for you, and I just got a DM message from somebody, but it was like a different type of product, and they were asking me if I could point them in the right direction to find out how to price their products. Like, they were more of a service-based business. But for you, how did you navigate that? Because you were kind of like trial by fire, right? Like, oh my God, I got to start selling.
Like,
Okay, put a price on this. So how did you figure that out?
Yes, pricing was probably my biggest like struggle, because I was like, oh, it's just my work, and like I love what I do, and it's not work, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, $10, but like everyone's like, you need to price that way higher, and I was like, okay. So like I like did the whole Google thing, and because no one I know, I can ask, so I had to ask the internet, which is a lovely place. So sometimes, I pretty much just, whenever I started doing the custom work, I would jot down like how many hours I did. And then I tried to think like, if this was like a 9-to-5 job, how much would I want to pay myself as like for like by hour? So a lot of people told me like, you should do like 15 an hour or 20 an hour just starting. So like, say something took you 3 hours, then that would be like $60. And then some people are like, that's super low for, what you're doing. And I was like, okay. So then I bumped it up to like 25, and then it's all different, especially with custom work, just because you have to go back and forth with the client and make sure it's what they want. And there's a lot of revisions and whatnot. But as for prints, I pretty much just figured out the price of the product that like to get made, and then I tripled it. So that's just how I did that. But with stickers, it's a lot different just because I do get them for cheap, so I didn't want them to be super expensive. But I did look around like, what's the average price on stickers? And it was like $3 to $4. And I was like, okay, cool, I'll start at $3. And then I bumped it up to $3.25 because Etsy changed their like, policy and whatnot. I had to pay like a slight more. So, but overall, like pricing products are very difficult, but luckily for mine, it's a lot of mass production instead of, say, I did jewelry and it was like one of a kind.
Right.
So, yeah, I wish I had more tips about the one of a kind ones, but my stuff is all mass produced, which is nice. I design it and then just take that design and put it on a bunch of stuff. So, yeah. But I pretty much, if you say like, however many hours you work, and then just kind of calculate how much you would want to be paid. And then that's how I started figuring it out. So that could help. I hope.
I think that's really, really helpful. And then before I get to the wrap up questions, one last question that I think the audience, or the listeners, like, I'm like the audience, like we're like on the show. Hello.
Yeah.
But one more question the listeners might have is like, you're preparing like even now for this big show, right? And so sometimes people ask me about that too. And it's like, they're like, Nache, how many products should I make? Right. And, because you don't want to go too low, you don't want to go too high. So, in the last 5 years, like what have you learned, and how do you determine how many products to get made for a particular show?
Depending on the show, but I always like to make more than I need, because selling out is really like, selling out of all your products is really great. But then it's like people come and then you don't have anything and you're just like, oh, sorry, I sold out. So I pretty much, after like each show, I kind of get the idea of like which sticker designs sell the best, or like sell more. So I get like triple that inventory of that specific sticker. But as for someone who's just starting out, I would just say try to have a good amount of inventory and like different inventory, just so people, unless you have like one product that's like one and then that's it and like that's all you're selling, which is also fine because those are very successful businesses as well. But right. Like a million different things to choose from. So I would say like more than you think you would need, just because so you've prepared. And then if you have inventory left over, then you're already starting to prepare for your next show, or you can put them online and you have enough inventory for orders and whatnot. So I always say prepare more than you think you would need, because no one's ever said that you have too much. Ever. Right. But it's better to have too much than not enough inventory at a show, for sure.
No, I think that's great advice. And then I just had a couple of wrap-up questions. Even though it's so funny, I probably should have started with this in the beginning. I just kind of like jumped in. But correct me if I'm wrong, but the type of illustrations you do, is that considered zentangle? Is that how you say it? Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's called that, but I pretty much, when I grew up, I doodled and whatnot, and like I had no idea what it was called until like 3 years ago.
Right, when it became all of a sudden this thing.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, and people online were like, I was like, I don't know what, I was like, I just doodle. I do these patterns. They're black and white. I mainly just do black and white, but then I added color, and now I do a lot of color. And they were like, you're doing zentangle. And I was like, what? I was like, I had no idea. I had no idea what that was. And then I looked it up and I was like, oh my God, other people do this. And I was like, okay, there's a community that I can like chat with about this. I was like, this is so cool. It's not just me who doodles and like makes things out of their doodles instead of just doodling. So yeah, that was like 3 years ago or 3.5 years ago. Because my business used to be called Brita Lynn Designs, because my middle name is Lynn. But then whenever people were like, oh, like your work is like a lot of like zentangle and whatnot. But I was like, mine is not necessarily exactly like zentangle.
You're like, they're doodles. They're my doodles, right?
Because in zentangle, there's like actual steps and certain things you're supposed to do to make a certain pattern. And I was like, I just kind of do whatever I want to do and then hope it turns out good. And so it's kind of inspired by zentangle. So I put zentangle and inspired into one word, and it was not a word before. Right. So now that's my Zenspire Designs. So that's how I got my entire business name. So because it's like inspired by zentangle, but not totally zentangle.
No, that completely makes sense, because like looking at your stuff, I'm like, it's not, from at least looking at the zentangle, it's not zentangle exactly, but right, there's like elements of it that remind you of the zentangle. Like certain, like, it's so weird,
patterns and whatnot, but yeah.
Okay, so first wrap-up question, how do you stay organized? Any tools, software, techniques, anything people can use to like stay sane?
Yes. I'm a huge list maker. So I actually don't use any apps, just because I like to handwrite things. And so I use a lot of Post-it notes because for me, like I have a board next to my computer, and anything that I have to get done, each task is on a Post-it note. So whenever I finish that task, I just tear off the Post-it note, put it in the garbage, and it's super satisfying because you're like, okay, I did that. Now on to the next one. So I pretty much just stay organized with Post-it notes and lists and whatnot. And I wish I was more organized than I am. But after like moving into my studio and then expanding my studio, there's a lot going on in my studio all the time that my head is just like, I don't even know what to organize right now, or like my emails and like all of this stuff. But yeah, I pretty much handwrite everything, and like I don't really use my calendar on my phone. Everything is, in an actual book and whatnot. And I just think it's like a thing that because you write, like when you write something down, your brain remembers it more, just because you're like physically doing it instead of typing it and like just minimizing it and just going on to the next thing. So I personally stay organized by writing things down and keeping a notebook with me and doing the Post-it note tasks thing. So I don't do much, but it works for me.
I know you probably have like the most beautiful notebook too, all doodled up too around your notes.
I wish I had more time to just doodle, but that's my business. I don't have that much time to just mindlessly doodle anymore, unfortunately. But unless I'm playing or something. So.
And then question, well, this, because this is the question, like, do you have time? But do you have a hobby?
No. I wish I could say. Actually, not really. I dabble in golf. Not like actually anything. Not at all. Okay. Like it's like one of those things. Like I wish it was more of a hobby, but mainly it was like last summer. My friend was like, "Let's go golfing," and I was like, "Okay." And he's like, "All right, let's go buy golf clubs." And I was like, "Okay." Like, I'm that type of person. I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And then I got super into it, but then it got cold because Pittsburgh is, like, super bipolar with weather. So it was, like, snowing when it shouldn't be snowing and all that. But that's, like, my, like, little random hobby that I like to do. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, I like to go to the gym, but that's not really a hobby. It's, like, it's just, like, a thing. But as of, like, anything else, I wish I did. But I just love my job so much that I, like if there's time, I never really have free time unless like I permanently make it in my schedule to have free time because I don't let myself have free time because I'm like, oh, I could be creating something. I could be doing this or this or this. So I pretty much don't have a hobby unless I force myself to have a hobby.
No, I completely get it. Sense. We're going to just call golf your soon to be hobby.
Yeah, exactly. It could be a hobby. It's not that big of a deal.
Right.
Yeah. I just love what I do so much that I don't want to spend time doing anything else. So.
Right. That's a good place to be in. That's an amazing
I took my hobby into my job, so
right.
pretty much have no other way to go.
And then please just tell the listeners where can they go to buy some Zenspire Designs stickers?
Yes, it is just www.zenspiredesigns.etsy.com. And then all of my stickers there, they're all organized in those many, many different categories. So, and I also add like 5 or 8 new ones every single month. I take suggestions. I do custom stickers, custom anything you want. Doesn't have to be stickers, can be prints or blankets or like literally anything you can think of. If I can find a printer to do it, then we're good to go. But and then Instagram, pretty much all my social medias are Zenspire Designs. So Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest, and then I do have a Snapchat that I kind of like vlog type on. Actually, that like pretty much is the only platform that I actually talk to people that like follow me, just because my DMs on my Instagram they won't work sometimes because there's like so many that I just like can't open any. It's like a weird thing that Instagram doesn't let me do. But
which is so weird because it's like, especially if you're not following them, right? I feel like people get lost in that little other, like that bin they put them in.
Yeah. And I'm like, and I open it and then it disappears and I feel bad because the person thinks I read it and then didn't respond, but I didn't read it because it disappeared. And so I always say on my Instagram, I'm like, hey, if you ever want to contact me, email me at zenspiredesigns@gmail.com and I always respond, or Snapchat, I always respond. But pretty much all my social medias are just Zenspire Designs. I think the only one that I don't have is Twitter. But that's just because I never think to use that.
So it's like, why even bother? Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's just, I feel like it wouldn't go well with what I do because, make tweets about my work. I'd rather you see my work. I don't know.
No, that makes sense. Right. And I feel like you don't have to be on every social media platform.
I like to be on the main, what I was already on before, and then just kind of explode from there.
Yeah, people. And listeners out there, I mean, she is like Instagram queen. She has like over 96,000 followers.
That's so close. So close.
I know you're like right there. I know you're like, come on, people, free sticker if you tag a friend and they follow, right?
Seriously. I'm like thinking about doing that, or I do a bunch of giveaways with other artists, and that always like helps bring new people. But yeah, I love Instagram so much. It's a wonderful tool.
Well, that's a wrap, people. There's so many goodies and tips in this episode. I hope you guys are leaving feeling inspired. Remember, join the conversation over on Instagram. I am at NACHESNOW, and check out the latest posts with Brita and leave us a comment and let us know what you guys thought of this episode. And remember, if you haven't already and you want to support the podcast, please leave me a rating 5 stars on the Apple Podcast app, or if you're listening to this on YouTube, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And for those of you guys who are like, what? She has a YouTube channel? You can go to nachesnow.com/YouTube and it'll take you right there. All right, folks, have a beautiful week. And the last episode of the season will be coming up next week, episode 91. Talk to you guys then. Take care. Bye.